Albert Breer, our Tush Push correspondent, taking in the sun
Where
at the
do you
Breakers.
stand on the Tush Push?
Hopefully my complete and total thoughts will be up by the time this podcast is out and everyone can read about it. I think it's an absolute farce. I think this is a kangaroo court, and I'm not like, people are like always like, oh yeah, like, you're playing this up. I think this would represent the end of football as I know it.
Yeah,
I think this is an absolute joke, and the biggest joke is that they're couching it as a health and safety issue with zero documented injuries.
Word inside the room is there was a vehement just like feeling that from some corners. I think Mike Vrabel was one of them that was vehemently against the ban and said that it's
good
up the defense. I think Aaron Glenn has said something too. I think Aaron Glenn actually said something publicly about like, hey, I'm a defensive coach, and I feel like as a defensive coach, it's my job to stop him. It's not the league's job to stop him. And you know where I stand on this. Like, I feel like, to me, it's like non-competitive when one team is doing this exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And if you actually go and watch the plays, like, how many of them like are like Hurts isn't even being pushed. Like, there are a lot of them where like he's across the line by the time those guys behind him get to him, because they have a quarterback who can squat 600 pounds and they have the best offensive line in football.
And this is what drives me nuts.
I'm against taking something away because somebody's really good at it, much better than everybody else.
Right, because where do you draw the line there? And part of the reason I think that they're even entertaining taking it away is because it's an unattractive play, and you don't want the scenario to exist where like one day they just decide to run it 30 times from the 30 all the way into the end zone. It's not a play that you can really bet on. It's not a play that doesn't help the league in any particular way, shape, or form, right? And so for them, it's easier to just gut it and to take it out. And for everybody that says, Daniel Jones...
You know what it would be like? It'd be like when the Broncos got really good in the 90s, when Mike Shanahan brought in like,
it'd be like banning outside zone.
You know what it would be? It would be like banning cut blocking, because that's what it would be. It would be like we're banning cut blocking because the Broncos are so freaking good at this. Like, that's what it would be, and it would be targeting one team. Now,
this legislation is not without precedent, because you make a good point. I remember 2 years ago I went up to the Army and I did a story. They were changing their offense. The schools that were on the academy,
for everybody to not to shine your shoes here, but that was a good story.
Well, thank you. But a lot of the big power schools that had Army or Navy or Air Force on the schedule all got together and pushed the rules committee to ban the cut block, but they banned it in May. So all of a sudden, Army's got to change their offense overnight because they don't have anything. I mean, and granted, the tush push is not the central part of Philadelphia's offense, but I think that at the very least, they probably drafted some players over the years who were like, that guy could probably help us do that. It's just kind of as an ancillary benefit. So they've done things to add to and to evolve upon the tush push. It's a weapon for them. How do you just yank that out from underneath them? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I again, if there were like even Buffalo, right? Like, if Buffalo's got a tank at quarterback, Buffalo couldn't do it at this level, right?
Right.
Buffalo couldn't come close to doing it at the level of Phil. And that's nothing against the Bills. It's something that the Eagles have mastered. Taking their way is ridiculous. Stop it. Just stop it. If you're another team, stop it.
Just quickly on that. Why? Because the second best team at the tush push in the NFL are the Bills. And Sean McDermott's on the competition committee. Why is he doubling down on banning the tush push? That one is interesting to me in particular. He has mentioned health and safety multiple times, but I think the only documented...
Maybe it's because you want to keep it... Maybe it's because they know... Maybe it's because you don't... Like, if you're the Bills, you don't want to put Josh Allen in that situation, but you control that. You don't have to.
Right. Know? Run another play.
Yeah.
Run another play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have... check back at SI.com. I actually petitioned our editors to curse in that column, and so we'll see if it runs as I turned it in, or if it gets a little bit doctored. I was that upset about the tush push situation.